Hi, my name is Steve Moreland, and I'm the Executive Director here at Success Publishing, as Matt's already explained. And I wanted to run a quick video to you just so that you can have a chance to get to know me a little better, maybe on a more personal basis, because some of the questions that I'm going to be asking you during an interview is going to be pointed and blunt, I guess you could say, because we're really serious about choosing the right people to go in the book. We've only got 20 some odd slots, and Matt said there's basically two, if you recall, there's two reasons why we have people come into the book, and that is that you've got to have the right fit. The right fit means you've got the right story, the right background, it's the right elements. And we've been doing this for a while. Matt's been doing this since 2013. And so he really knows what we're looking for. You've already filled out the application for the interview. So those answers there are going to be basically a look through. And that's where we actually go to the interview from. The other thing is from those questions and from the questions that I'm going to ask you when we have the interview, we're going to be able to determine whether or not this is going to make a significant difference in the business or in the environment that you're in right now. So Matt just doesn't like taking chances with anyone. His reputation's on the line. He's been doing this for 22 years. Our reputation on the line as a company is there as well. So we want to make sure we find the right fit. So before we do all that, I thought it was a chance for you to get to know me better. And the most important thing that we talk about that makes the difference that we're going to ask the question about is your why, W-H-Y. A lot of people get held up and they get focused on the hows, the mechanics of life, and they don't understand what is the big reason, what is the underlying motive, alternative, what is your big driver. And so I want to express this to you the way I understand it so that you get to know me better, and when we get to talk, then that kind of makes you like we already know each other. So I go by a thing called the 6 human needs, and if you haven't heard of this before, it's something worth looking up. But basically there are 6 primary needs that underlie everything that we do, why we do those. This concept will help you better understand yourself, better understand maybe the kids, spouse, and even those people in a business environment. And here they are. It is certainty. Number 2 is uncertainty. Number 3 is connectedness. Number 4 is significance. And then we basically draw a line right there. Those are the 4 primaries. Everybody has one and maybe a secondary. That's everything they do and why they do it is based on one of these 4. Then when you cross this line to number 5 and 6, you have contribution and then you have growth. And I'll go into those. That's why I'm here. It's why I'm going to be doing this interview with you, and it's why I work with Matt, and we've been working together for over 20 years. So real quickly, certainty. Certainty is the level of, how would you say, routine, the things that we need to know that with certainty, if you jump off a roof, you're going to go down. If you eat too much cheesecake, you don't get smaller, you get bigger. We need to have that routine. We drive the same way to work every day. We order our pizza pretty much the same way, the hamburger the same way, and we have a routine. This routine gives us a level of security, and that's where it comes from. If you get in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's something that we need in order to feel comfortable about what we do and how we do it. Number 2, and I guess you would say the creator in her great wisdom, took us from the mundane, which is the certainty that we want to have that routine, we want to get into that almost a rut sometimes. And then we have that desire, we usually only do it on vacation. We want to go someplace where we never have gone before. Go to the beach, go to the mountains, go to another country, go someplace where there's a different culture, a different language even, different people, different horizons. And so that's what we love. We love that concept of the surprise birthday party, the surprise raise, and we pretty much love good surprises, and we hate, we hate the unexpected bad surprises, getting fired, stock market going the wrong direction, and your portfolio going in to the tank. Those are the uncertainties, but we have to have the uncertainty sprinkled over the certainty, otherwise we just get bored. So those are the first 2 things. Then number 3 is the connectedness. Connectedness is that we are social beings. Not everyone can be the Henry David Thoreau that loves to go on his father-in-law's property out by Walden Pond and build a log cabin with dirt floors and sit out there and write prose and poems and become the first American Zen poet, I guess. Most of us need to have that social interactiveness, that connectedness, whether you call it family, you call it friends, you call it comrades. Those are the things that give us that emotional value inside that gives us the next thing that we get to, and that's called significance. Now, significance is not what you might think it is. Significance, a lot of people misinterpret it as being better than everyone else. And this is not about competition, at least not competition with other people or everyone else. And yes, I know our societies are very competitively driven and everybody's trying to have the new thing or the bigger car or the greater house or the bigger bank account or whatever. Significance here is more about excelling over where your personal standard was before, where it was yesterday, last week, last month, last year. And in order to progress, which we're going to get to in the growth stage of 5, I want to talk about significance and why I know what it is. Significance is about setting your standard and moving beyond your standard. And I want to make that distinction between a standard and a goal. People do not do their goals. They certainly do not necessarily do their dreams, because dreams are wishes, and unfortunately they don't come true. What we do is we stay ahead of what our base standards are. And how we do that is a level of significance. What we do as a job, how we have our place in pecking order of society, those are competitive environments, but significance is a personal environment. And I've had a chance with my own personal development system that I created over the last 30 years of my research to be on contract and work with high-end executives, venture capitalists. I used to be in the hedge fund environment once upon a time, so I got to work with some pretty amazing people. Got to take the private jet flights across the pond into Europe. Got to stay in great castles up on Zurich Mountain and go to find fantastic places in Luxembourg and do the whole thing in Europe. Those are things that are really fantastic and wonderful, and that's when we're achieving that level of significance. It's not about trying to say we were better than someone else. It's about pushing up our own personal standards of significance. And when I've worked with some of these top individuals, both corporate individuals, entrepreneurs, as well as a lot of individuals that I call my friends, former active duty military individuals that have been SEALs, Rangers, Air Force combat controllers, and of course Marine Recon. I grew up with Recon, so that's been an environment that I've always had the greatest level of respect, but for all of our branches, for anyone that stands in harm's way. But the point I'm trying to make is when I've talked to these individuals that do the impossible mission, that they get dropped off somewhere, haloed out of the back of a plane on a halo jump, and basically told you're being put out there on a mission and you don't know if you're going to make it back, but here's what you have to do for the cause of freedom. And I always give my hats off to these guys, and I call them my friends. They're amazing, but I'm always curious as to why and how do they do that? And it's because of this thing called significance. It's they train every day, not to compete against everyone else, but to push their own level of performance up. So that is the first 4: certainty, uncertainty. Then we have the connectedness, which is our social environment. Then we have the significance, not about competition, but personal excellence. So when you understand those 4, you can understand why everyone does what they do, because it is because of those 4 that they function. Now, the reason why I'm here, I've gone through a lot of these things. I've already been through the worst, bloodstained hurricane you can imagine coming to someone's life, losing everything, once upon a time having everything, and then going the other direction, having the great marriage for 17 years, and I lost it. Ended up having 2 fantastic kids out of it, and they are doing extraordinary regardless of some of my bad decisions, and hopefully they're doing well because of some of my good ones. And that's what I'm here today, and why I'm part of this deal, is for number 5, which is contribution. When you're going into this environment and you're looking at this tool of becoming a co-author, this is something that's going to allow you to accelerate and create a more significant career, to increase your business environment and to do more and bigger and better than what you've done before. So what I can do now that I'm 50 and have been through a lot of these things, I've got the rank, I've definitely got the scars from the bad decisions, but bad decisions, when they're looked in retrospect and paid attention to, they become good judgment. And good judgment, that's the only way you get it, is from making poor decisions, but then coming back and figuring out why and comparing those against a better decision and those that have made better decisions. So contribution is my way of being able to contribute back to you. Not everyone that comes through and finds this video and looks at our program is going to come in. No, not everyone. We can't make them in. There's not enough space. So this is my ability to contribute to you, because I hope we develop a relationship, whether or not you become one of the co-authors. What I mean by that is I've been through a lot of things, and not being braggadocious or anything, but I hope to be able to give what I've learned, because when you get in that darkest night and you're looking for a way and you're on the face of the mountain and you're trying to find, how do I get to that next point? How do I get to the peak? I can't find my next foothold. I want to be that person that can kind of show you in the darkness where the foothold is, only because I was there once upon a time, and I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to show you as a guide. The Japanese have a great term. It's called senpai and kohai. And it's not about being more than someone else and being arrogant and I'm something, bigger and better. Senpai and kohai, senpai simply means that you're farther down the path than the kohai. You find that in Japanese martial arts and in other environments. So that concept is what I'm really talking about here. And that ultimately gives me what I call the ultimate growth. If I'm working with you and you obviously are at the top of the game, pushing toward becoming the best of the best if you're not already, and those are the individuals that I love to associate myself with. And the reason for that is because I have to continue to grow. I've already learned a lot, and I know what I know, but I'm not done yet. And the way that I have to stay ahead of the pack, if you will, is because I need to be constantly pushing up my standard to keep my significance. But I also want the connectedness to have with individuals like you, but I want to contribute back. And if I can't contribute something that you can use, then I've lost my significance. I've lost my value, because I'm not growing myself to be valuable to you. So that is why I'm here. That is why I'm developing this video right now. I want you to get to understand why I'm on the other end of the phone, and when I ask you some tough questions, I want you to understand that it is about business, but it's more than business. It's me also trying to get to understand you. And even if you don't make it into the book, as Matt said, it's not personal. It's we got to find the best, 28 or 29. But I want to be able to develop this relationship so that we can continue to be comrades, to be friends, to be associates, and ultimately we can do something better and better for those around us. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for your attention, and I do hope to get to know you better very shortly. Take care.